Ever since the start of this project, there's been a massive glaring issue that I've just been ignoring and putting off, and that is rust. So welcome back to the Wheels on Wheels YouTube channel, and today we're going to be tackling the rust issues on this Ford Transit Connect camper conversion that we paid only £380 for. I suppose it's a good job we only paid that much, really. I just want to preface this whole saga by saying that I haven't got really any experience in welding. The only thing I've really welded is some metal plates in the garage just for practice, really. So today you're probably going to see a steep learning curve when it comes to welding on new sills, which is what we're doing on the driver's side. So let's take a look at the rust in question, shall we? So looking at the van, you wouldn't really know there's any rust issues because the bodywork is mostly free of rust, except for the sliding door. There's a little bit there. And if you take a look at the sill on this side, you'll spot that it's been replaced. So this is nice and solid, no problems there. However, moving around to the other side, we will find quite serious rust issues. So as you can see, this side of the van needs a new inner and outer sill, and that's what I'm going to be attempting today with no experience. So wish me luck. So for the sills themselves, I paid £50 plus postage for these ones from eBay. So this is one side and it's an inner and outer sill set. So that's the outer profile, and these two bits are the inner. I'm not really sure how these work. I'm sure when I start cutting these to pieces, I'll start to understand how these two bits work together. But I know this is the outer profile. I forgot to mention the reason I'm focusing on the rust issues on this van now is because it has an MOT test due soon, which is our annual inspection here in the UK. And it is definitely not going to pass with the sills the way they are. They've got a lot worse as well, especially with me prodding and poking them. So enough stalling, let's just get started, shall we? So the first thing we need to do is jack up the van nice and high so we can see what we're working with. So I've removed the battery now because welding could cause electrical issues if you don't disconnect the battery, and I didn't want anything arcing, so I've just taken the battery out altogether just to be on the safe side. While I'm in here, I might as well mention that this is actually a petrol engine, which is very unusual for these vans. This is the 1.8 litre Zetec E petrol engine, and you'd find this in Ford Focuses of the time and things like that. And it was a very rare option at the factory. This particular model, the L210, only 39 were ever registered and only 17 remain on the roads today. It's not really the best engine for this. It's quite slow actually, but it's rare. So that's interesting. Right, next job is to remove these wheel arch trims. And this is going to be a challenge because look at those screws. I can't even tell what that's supposed to be. Is it supposed to be a Torx or a Phillips bit? I genuinely cannot tell. I think it's supposed to be a Phillips bit, but it's really hard to tell. So I'm gonna have to dig out all the rust, see what we can do. Okay, that's definitely a Phillips head, so that's good, I suppose. I'm so glad these are Phillips head screws. They're great. They don't round at all. Right, the grinder's come out a lot earlier than I first thought. I'm going to need to cut a slot in these screws because they're just rounding and they're so tight. So by cutting or trying to cut the head off of this bolt, I have actually melted the wheel arch. How annoying. I just don't know how I'm going to deal with these other ones. Got the exact same issue up here and here as well. What I'll probably do is try and drill it out. Ow. Hey, the screws actually broke loose. 1 out of 3 ain't bad. Yes, finally. Right, moving on to the back, this is looking a lot more straightforward. There's just one bolt under here, an actual normal bolt that's threaded into what feels like nothing but rust. And it looks like this should just come off. Oh, that's so much better. Oh my God, the dirt. The dirt coming out of that. Oh my God. Oh, that's awful. Oh my word. Have a look at where that bolt was screwed into. There's nothing there. That is terrible. And they've just patched in a piece here. But yeah, that's awful. I mean, just look at this. Look at that. Just huge chunks just falling off. Of course, rust I've collected just from taking the wheel arch off. That is really bad. The worst bit is I don't know if our sill piece even goes this far, so I may need to make a piece for that. I'm not sure, but wow, that's terrible. So I think I'm going to need to remove this inner arch lining so that I can see what I've got to work with at the end there, which is just a series of sort of metal clips and one Torx bolt there. It should come off. There is also a Torx bolt that side, but it's not attached to anything anymore. That's how bad the rest is. I love how on this van they've used different types of fixings. They've got Phillips heads at the front. They've also got normal hex bolts. They've got Torx bolts here. Doesn't really make sense. That has also rusted away. This is going really well. Definitely need to put some gloves on. I'm going to get tetanus otherwise. Oh, this van must have been on a farm at some point or something, because that is gross. There's so much mud. Hey, there we go. These rear arch linings are funny because they're literally just carpet. I don't know if you can see that, but just carpet. It's very strange. That looks pretty solid on the whole. That looks reasonably solid on the whole, so I'm pretty pleased with that. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is grind off all of this paint and stuff that they've put on it so that we can see the spot welds at the bottom here. So obviously there won't be any spot welds left over there, but there are going to be some here. I don't really want to ruin the whole inner sill. If I can salvage some of it or most of it, then I will. Obviously that's not salvageable, but the rest might be. So I'm going to obviously drill the spot welds out and remove the outer part of the sill properly rather than just cutting the whole thing out. So I'm going to put on the goggles and I'll also get a mask. And this is what I'm going to use to actually grind it back with. So it's like a wire brush, but the bristles are all twisted, so they're very solid. So let's give it a go. I think we're already starting to see spot welds. I think that's what that is. So this here is what we're trying to achieve. We're trying to basically get access to all of the spot welds here so we can drill them all out. So I'm just going to carry on going down and then all the way back up, grinding this down. Okay, so we can now start drilling out the spot welds. I think that's it mostly drilled out. And I've pretty much just got to go along all of these and do the exact same thing all the way along. So I've drilled out a lot of what I think are the spot welds. Obviously it disappears as it goes up there. And also back here, I'm sort of struggling to see where there are spot welds. It looks like this has been redone at some point. I can't really tell. But yeah, so I'm just going to start by seeing if we can peel away this middle section and I'll deal with the rest in a moment. So to sort of separate the outer sill from the inner sill, I've got this old chisel and a hammer if I need it. Hopefully I can just shove it in here and pry the outer sill away. That's my theory anyway. Let's try it. Well, hey. There's definitely a weld still there. I think a bit more drilling might be required. I think there might be a spot weld just there. Definitely getting somewhere with it now. Whoa, just fell backwards. So this is where I'm at currently. This bit is really tightly wrapped around there, so there's nowhere to get the chisel in around the back. And when I was prying this, it just snapped. And same around here, it just snapped there. And this is all rotten anyway. So I'm gonna keep going, keep trying. I guess I'm gonna move to the front now, see if I can get this off. Right, we're at the back of the van again now, and I think there must still be some welds to drill out. I think that might be one there. Okay, got a grinding disc on the angle grinder. Gonna use this instead. So I think I know what this is. It's like a jacking point. So it's just a bit of extra thick material here. That's why I'm struggling to get my chisel in here, because it also wraps around. I've got to tackle this awful bit that's been welded here now. But it looks like it's more or less popping off anyway. Yeah, that wasn't even welded. That was just welded to nothing. Great. Oh well, makes my job easier. Appears to be another weld just there. There we go. So that, as you can see, is all loose at the bottom now. Just a little bit at the front we need to go and address. It shouldn't take too long. So this has all been welded with a really, really bad patch of just bits of metal, really. I'm saying really bad, I probably won't do much better, but it looks like I can sort of knock this off, a lot of it. It's probably not even welded, so. It looks like they've used a stick welder or something for this. I mean, I don't know a lot about welding, but it doesn't look good. Oh my God. The rust falling off this. I'm getting a little bit distracted now, but look at this. Just put my finger in there. You can dig out huge piles of rust that are just sat at the bottom of the sill. And that's what the floor looks like right now. It's awful. I think we're gonna need to grind some of this off. Right, we've got a bit more grinding to do now. So once again, I'm going in with the wire brush. Looks like there's another spot weld there, but there could be more further along. I think I'm probably going to take it right to the end before I cut it. I'm going to need to get rid of as much of the sill as I can. Right, there's a pretty devastating hole here as well. It's just full of mud. Oh my God, look at that. It is literally full of mud. Wow, no wonder that's rotted out. How the hell does that even get in there? I'd really like to know how all this mud actually gets in there. There's loads of it, it's compacted in there as well. I mean, the only holes are this little hole here, as far as I can see. That's just unbelievable. So I'm gonna have to patch this up separately with a separate piece, or maybe cut the sill long and then fold it over or something. Thankfully, all of this up here is pretty solid. Just this bottom piece. Okay, got a couple more spot welds to drill out by the looks of it. Well, thankfully this bit's quite nice and solid, which is good. Just look at the state of that metal on the inside. Oh my God, and look at all that. That is compacted mud. Compacted mud on the inside of the sill. Can somebody tell me how this level of mud gets inside the sill like that? That's more soil than is in my garden. Look at this. Okay, that's partly rust, but a lot of this is soil. Oh no. Oh my God. That's the inner sill right there. God, that is not good. I mean, I've not even done that hole. That was already like that. That's unbelievable. Oh, what a shame. And if I could turn your attention, please, to the state of the ground. That is just one huge pile of rust and mud. I'm starting to wonder if I've bitten off more than I can chew with this. It's really bad. I'll press on anyway. Let's see what we can do. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to scrape off all of this stuff that's on there so I can see what I'm doing. It's time to do the bit that I've been dreading the most, which is cutting the old sill off. There's no going back from this point, but I suppose there's nothing left to do but to do it, so... Oh, my mask's broke. Any excuse. Right, sorted my mask out. Now it's time to do it. Let's go. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's just that tiny bit of weld there. Well, hey, there we go. So there is the old outer sill removed. As you can see, it looks horrendous. And the inner sill doesn't look that much better, to be quite honest. So it's going to need a lot of work. I've definitely bitten off more than I can chew with this one. Yeah, this has got like a big hole here in this like box section. I'm not sure if it's supposed to have a gap or not, to be honest, because there is a gap here, but I don't really know if that's correct. Probably not. Yeah, there's loads of stuff all in here. Loads of big chunks. It is pretty horrid. Moving down, it gets a lot better. The inner sill gets much, much better actually, especially around this point here. That looks pretty good. And then it gets much worse again at the back. It looks salvageable, probably just do a little plate there. Yeah, this is very, very painful. Interestingly, if you look up into the void, it's almost like you're stepping back in time. This looks absolutely brand new. And there's such a duality, because if you look right down, it then looks like it's been on the road for about 1,000 years. So it's interesting how right here it looks awful, but just here it looks almost brand new. Mental. So what I'm going to do next is grind away the rust on what's left of the inner sill, just to see what we're really working with. And then I suppose it's time to start fabricating, really.
In reality, grinding away all that rust takes a lot longer than I anticipated.
So as I've sort of been grinding and picking bits away, I've sort of realised now what I'm looking at a bit more. So I think this piece is supposed to continue all the way along, and it's spot welded all the way along here, and it is just a flat piece of metal as far as I can tell. It goes along like that. Then a new piece starts, and for some reason this piece has just completely disintegrated pretty much. So I've been trying to drill it out and get the last bits of it out, and I'll get just new bits of metal to go in there, and I'll just try and spot weld it into this, I guess. So that should help our inner sill situation. And the good news is
this part of the inner sill is pretty good. Like, it's pretty strong as far as I can tell. Obviously it gets worse and worse as you go down, so I will have to use some of that new inner sill section that I've got. And don't even get me started about what I'm going to do over there. That just looks horrific. So I'm just going to continue grinding off these bits. So these are sort of the remains of what should be that, I think, here. So I'm just going to keep grinding it off until we've got a good base to start working with. So quick sit rep. I'm pretty happy with how this is looking. That's nice and solid, completely free of rust. Unfortunately, that is only about 20% of the actual sill. Obviously here, we're missing this metal bit. So to be fair, I can do something about that. I think I'll just get bits of metal and spot weld them in as they were before. That's until we get to this bit where it gets really thin and then just disappears. So that's where our new inner sill profile will come in. It'll need to be welded on the inside. Here, I'm going to need to fabricate something for that. I'm not really sure how to tackle this bit yet because that is pretty bad. And I'm still yet to grind this back fully. So let's start doing that now. That pile there is 95% rust. That is unbelievable.
The reason I've swept is so that I can get under, lying on my back, so I can grind the inside of the sill. As you can see, we've got some holes in the inner sill at the back, so that's going to need some patching as well. These aren't looking too good, but they might clean up all right. Let's just see. Okay, I've probably grinded a bit too much really, but there you are. Got all the loose rust off. It's just this we need to deal with. I don't know how I'm going to deal with it, but there we are. God, what a mess. There's a bit more cleaning up to do in this rear wheel arch. I'm just going to take this wheel off now and start grinding that. Okay, that's looking better. We've got straighter lines now. I still have no idea how I'm going to fabricate this because I don't really know how to fabricate metal, but I'll figure it out. Okay, so that's been cleaned up a bit. Still some more to do. I've also got to go and drill these spot welds out here so I can get a new piece of metal just like this one and put it up in there. This all needs cutting out and a new piece placing in. And over here, I don't know, this just needs a miracle.
It's gonna take a miracle.
As you can see, it's getting a bit dark now. I've been doing this all day. I've been out here since 10 AM. It's now, I think, about 9 PM. So I am absolutely shattered. So this is going to be the end of part 1, but stay tuned for part 2, where we start fabricating and welding. Fingers crossed. Thank you guys so much for watching. Catch you in part 2.